Well, hello everyone, and welcome to a rainy Wednesday webinar. I'm Michelle, the outreach coordinator here at Pasadena Humane. And with me, I have our resident cat enthusiast, Rochelle. How are you today?
Good morning, everyone. Hi, Michelle.
So this is kind of an exciting webinar. It's something that we've actually gotten requested quite a few times where people want to learn about their aging cats.
Yep, I'm super excited. I hope everyone out there is with their kitty and snuggling in the rain. I love being at home with my kitties when it's raining outside.
Yeah, a nice snuggle on the couch with grilled cheese and warm tomato soup, and and maybe some warm milk, not hot cocoa for the kitties.
Yeah, watch out. No, no milk for the kitties either. No
So
lactose.
before I turn you loose, Rochelle, we are going to go over some webinar reminders for anyone who has not joined us before. Okay, so on my screen, you should see these webinar reminders. I do want to remind everyone this is an audio-visual presentation, so even though you can see and hear us, we are not able to see and hear you. Okay. With that in mind, go ahead and ask the questions that you have as they come to mind using the question box on the right-hand side of the screen. Most likely, the questions will be asked at the end. So if you can save them for the end, try and do that. But I know for me that sometimes I get questions that come to the top of my head and I just have to get it out. So today's webinar is about keeping our adult cats active and mentally enriched. We've got some upcoming webinars. We're going to be talking with a rep from California Catios, and he's going to let us know everything we need about Catios from A to Z.
I'm super excited about that one.
This month, we also have, we are going to be joined by Legendary Bingo as we do it drag queen style, and that's going to take place on March 25th. Okay. At any time, if you miss anything, you want to go back and hear it again, or if you have to leave us early, which we hope doesn't happen, this webinar is recorded and you will receive a copy of it. We do hope that you enjoy this webinar, and if you do and you want to make an impact, go ahead and use the donation link below, and I'll go ahead and drop that in the chat box as well. And without further ado, take it away, Rochelle.
Okay, here we go. Let's see. I'm going to start to share my screen. Okay, is it happening, Michelle? Can you hear me?
You should have screen access.
Yep, are you seeing it now?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right, guys. Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome all my cat guardians out there. Whether you guys have a senior cat or just an adult cat that's showing signs of slowing down, I hope that we have some good ideas for you that will help you guys break out of that mundane eat, sleep, nap cycle, so we can get you and your kitties energized and getting them moving around throughout the day. And you know, that eat, sleep, nap cycle, sometimes it's okay. There's nothing wrong with the naps, right, Michelle?
No, not at all.
And I think we have a trivia question to start us all off and wake us up. Is that right?
We do. So I'm going to go ahead and put it on the screen now. True or false? Your cat is considered a senior at age 11.
So what do you guys think?
So we're going to keep this poll open for about 30 seconds. And then we'll let Rochelle share the true answer with us. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and close the poll. Rochelle, we have 57% say it's true and 43% say false.
Okay, well, you know, let's see. Let me try to fix my screen, actually. Here we go. Yeah, so if you said true, then you're right. Although, there's a lot of varying information out there. You can find out all different kinds of things online that says at what age, what age is your cat? What is that in human years and all that kind of stuff. Um, and so there's some varying information out there, but at age 11, they're considered seniors for sure. But thanks to more and more pet guardians practicing preventative veterinary care, and more people keeping their cats indoors, really, that's a big one. And we're feeding higher quality diets. Kitties are living a lot longer than they used to. So I think to have a little bit of a wider category is useful here. It used to be rare, for cats to live into their 20s, but that's much more common now. I had a kitty who was almost 22 before he passed. So they're getting up there in age. And a 1-year-old cat, we're talking about young adult, like they just had their kittenhood, right? And now they're adults at 1. By 8, they are considered more mature adults, I would say. And then we start to see some changes in activity levels by then. For sure, 11 to 14 is as a senior. And then since many cats are living beyond age 15, that was previously, what was considered to be their normal life expectancy. But now we'll call cats who are living 15 years and beyond, we'll call them super seniors. How does that sound? And I think we have right off the bat, another trivia question for you guys. Yeah, is that right, Michelle?
Yeah, so which of the following can provide a senior cat more comfort? Is it a new kitten friend, a new heater bed, a new costume, or a brand new routine?
I'll give you guys a little hint there.
So I know, like, my kitten, he's hitting adulthood next week. And we actually dress him in pet costumes.
Some kitties tolerate it. It's totally fine as long as they are enjoying it.
So, all right, and we're gonna go ahead and close the poll now. So there is an overwhelming response with a new heater bed, and second in is a new routine.
Okay, so yeah, I think definitely a new heater bed can help them feel more comfortable, right? New routines, unless their current one is something they're not a fan of, they probably want to keep up with what's going on. But there's always room for growth, right? So if you have an older kitty, it may be time to consider changing up their diets and providing them with a little extra TLC, and any cat appreciates a heater bed, right? But seniors definitely need more warm and cozy places to rest. So think about maybe adding some more than one heater bed. I have a couple for my kitty on different chairs in case she wants to move around, or maybe like in a little den that's one of those self warmer beds, just so she has some choice. So she doesn't have to always go to the same place. It's always a good idea. But also, night lights can help our seniors. Their eyesight does start to diminish a little bit. So when it starts getting dark, they might kind of get a little confused and not know where they are, be able to see very clearly. So adding some night lights can help, and pet stairs can help too. Like they used to be able to jump up on the couch and snuggle with you, and now they look up there and go like, nah, I don't think I want to jump up there. So pet stairs can help. But how about you guys? I wonder if they have any ideas that they can share with us during the Q&A. So if you guys have some stuff that you did to your house, let us know. We want to hear from you. Jot that down and ask it. I'll put it in the comment section for the Q&A time. Yeah, so we want to make their surroundings a little easier to navigate, right? Because oftentimes, our super seniors, they may begin to lose their hearing a little. My kitty went almost completely deaf when he was about age 18 or 19, and I didn't notice right away, right? So it's good to kind of watch out for that. Their vision, like I mentioned before, that might be diminished as well. And how many of you have noticed that your older kitty seems more finicky with their food? You guys notice that? They're like, I don't really want that anymore. Because, their sense of hearing and sight may diminish, and you might think about that, but also their sense of smell may become diminished. And when they smell their food, that's what prompts them to eat. So if they seem finicky, it just may be that they don't smell the food that you're serving as well anymore. Or if you're serving food that's like straight out of the fridge and it's cold, or if it's been sitting out a long time, it might be harder for them to smell, and so they might not participate in eating it as readily. And you might have also noticed that your cat is vocalizing more, especially when they're alone in a room. I've had that happen with my older kitties. They kind of call out in a louder, more distressed kind of meow. It sounds different than the normal meow. And it might be because they're having trouble navigating how to get back to you, or finding their litter box, or finding their food. So those night lights that we talked about earlier, those kind of really help. If you notice any changes in your cat's vocalization, and either the frequency, how often, or the volume of that meow, you should really check out to see if they're okay, if they're in pain, or need some extra help navigating their house. And they are really sensitive to change, like we talked about in their routine. So if they're having a daily routine and then maybe you move, or you add another household member or a new pet, or your schedule changes, maybe you're headed back to work or something, that can really affect them too. So try to do any routine changes slowly so that they get used to it gradually. All right, Michelle, I think are we headed for another trivia?
Yeah, we've got another poll question to ask. So, because cats are uniquely both predators and prey, what are they experts at? Hiding pain and injuries, ignoring you, being cute, or seeing things up close?
So what do you guys think? I told Michelle earlier we need some Jeopardy music. Yeah.
So, yeah, I would say, like, I know most cats are really good at being cute all the time, no matter what their age is.
Obviously.
So, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and close the poll. And boy, Rochelle, let me tell you, it is overwhelmingly hiding pain and injuries.
Oh my gosh, you guys are geniuses. Yeah, they are so good at hiding any little minor things or even big stuff, because they are prey and they don't want to look vulnerable to a predator, right? So they definitely can disguise when they're feeling not well, or if they just have an injury or any kind of disease or anything like that. So, have you noticed like older cats, it's harder to tell that they are actually older sometimes. Our super seniors, we can kind of see them lose weight and their fur doesn't look as good or whatever, but most of the time, like, they're looking pretty sharp and always looking cute, right? So that's why veterinary visits are super important for all cats, but even more so for our seniors and especially our super seniors. And since cats are good at hiding their pain, you might not notice a problem until a disease or injury is in an advanced stage. So you want regular checkups, even when your cat seems perfectly healthy, but your vet can help detect and prevent medical issues early when they see them when they are healthy, because that way they have something to, to base off that of. So they can say like, oh, we know that cat's normal, levels of everything, and get their blood test done so that they can start to notice when things go awry. And when you are visiting the vet, speak up. Write down questions ahead of time so you remember to ask them. Ask about their diet. Are you still feeding them the right things? Are you feeding them as much as they need? Write down any behavioral changes that you might see or other concerns, because no one knows your kitty, especially our senior kitties that we've had for a long time. No one knows them more than you. right? So if your vet just looks at them, they may look perfectly fine to them. But if you say like, hey, you know what? She hasn't been eating as well lately, or she's having difficulties climbing up and down my stairs or jumping up onto my bed. Is there something I should be looking out for? And you never know, they might have something for you and for your cat, to make that a little easier for you guys. Okay, so now we've taken our cats to the vet and we made our homes a little easier for them to navigate. So let's talk about how we can enrich their lives and keep them active. And first, I want you guys to think about your cat's current daily schedule. If you had to write down what your cat did all day, how many things would be on the list? So take a little think, maybe even jot down some things that your cat does. Give you a second. So, let me go back.
Yeah, I think I
There we
can
go.
think of 4 things.
Okay. So what does your cat do, Michelle?
Sleep, eat, play, use the restroom, and then it starts all over again.
Okay. Okay. Well, you got play in there, so that's really good. Good on you for that. But if you guys said something like eat, sleep, take a nap, go back to sleep, eat a little bit more, you're not alone. Many house cats don't have a lot of things on their daily to-do list. So have you ever heard people say things like, dogs are super needy and cats are independent? Or one of my pet peeves is when I hear, cats are so easy to take care of. You don't have to take them for a daily walk. They're so much better than dogs. Well, let's take a look at some things that we can do to enhance our cats' daily lives. Because honestly, like, cats aren't just super easy and independent, right? They still need social interaction. They still need things to do all day, we all should be pretty empathetic with this right now, right? Because we're all holed up in our house because of COVID and stuff. So we kind of know what it's like to not be able to do things that are mentally enriching, right? So every day we should be providing our cats with an outlet to practice natural cat behaviors and get them to use all their senses all day, different things all day long. So ask yourself, does your cat have places to climb right now? Do they have places to climb that they're allowed to climb on? Let's put it that way. And can they still climb up if you have a senior cat, or maybe they need a ramp now or some kiddie stairs? And does your cat have things they can reach into with their paws and claw things, scratch things? And what have you given them to sniff lately? They've got that catnip out. And what about areas to rub on and stretch? And, all that scratching. Are there more things that they're not allowed to scratch? Or do you have enough things for them to ruin, right? They should have things that they're allowed to just totally destroy that's theirs. So we're not always on them for like, get off the couch, or get off this, get off the table. We want to say, for everything that we tell them not to do, we want to give them like 3 or 4 things that they are allowed to do, right? And it's our job to bring the outside in. So, hey, what about getting some dried leaves in a box? Your cat might think, hey, that's pretty interesting. Or how about hiding some kibble, their regular food, in one of those ripple rugs? Have you guys seen those ripple rugs? That picture at the bottom there, it's really cool. Like, they can scratch on it, their toys can hide in all the little loops, they can rub on it. I really recommend those. Or like a puzzle feeder. At the top there's that puzzle feeder where the kibbles go inside and they can poke their paws in and bat at it, and then it falls down. They can eat those little treats or kibbles. Those are really fun. Or just things on your wall. That's my senior kitty, Harmony, up there. She's still climbing. She's, I think, 11 or 12 now, and she's climbing up those wall walkers, and they also are corrugated cardboard, so she can scratch on them, and she's still active and using those. So, consider providing enough things in socially significant areas for your kitties. So we talk about enrichment, but what is enrichment really? It's providing access to items that encourage their natural instincts and promote their curiosity too. So while their daily rhythm and routine should remain fairly consistent, giving them a variety of items to choose from can really help with boredom. And every cat is different. So some cats might prefer some cat grass or fresh catnip. My kitties really love that fresh catnip. They like the dried stuff too, but plant some catnip. It's really fun for them. And others may prefer valerian root. Have you guys heard of that? Or silvervine? There's a lot of other stuff besides catnip out there. And if your senior cats aren't as physically active, it still counts if they're interacting with their environment somehow. So even if they're just watching a toy or watching bird TV, like they have whole YouTube channels. Have you guys seen those of just like cat videos and cat music too?
Yeah, I actually let my cat watch Cat School.
Oh, cool. Okay. Yeah, that's definitely, yeah, you guys should definitely consider that. I think giving them something to watch and do is, we watch Netflix. They should be allowed to watch too. But cat TV doesn't always mean it's on a screen, right? Consider a catio and they can watch the wildlife go by, or a window seat. They really like to watch birds outside, my cats do. But even like boxes, paper bags, they're really fun for them to play in. Just make sure that everything's safe. You might want to remove the little handles on your bag so that they don't get their head caught in there. How many of you have seen your cats run around trying to get away from the bag after they've accidentally got their head caught in there? It's no fun. So speaking of play, have you guys noticed that your adult cat doesn't quite play in the same way as they were kittens? As cats get older, their play style changes. When kittens are young, their antics and the way they play, it makes us laugh and it feels super rewarding for us. So that in turn makes us want to play with them even more, right? But as our cats get older, as humans, we kind of lose interest in playing with them, sadly. And now, bringing out that one toy feels like work because now they're like adults and they're actually like, they look like real predators, right? Instead of like cute little kittens kind of trying to find their way. So we don't often play with our cats enough as they get older. But if we present some toys in a more thoughtful way, it can really help to pique their interest. Sometimes just presenting a new box with a toy inside can kind of pique their interest and get them to start to play. But we don't want to just dangle wand toys inches from a cat's face. That's no longer an invitation to play at this age when they get older. When they're a kitten, yeah, maybe they like that. But cats can't even really see well up close. Because they are predators, they tend to see motion pretty clearly when it's at a distance. So when we used to play with our kittens, we're dangling a wand toy right in front of their noggin. But that's just kind of annoying now. So they might be swatting it a little bit to get it out of their face. But we need to learn to make toys look like the real deal. You'll be surprised that making a fake bird on a string look alive, what that can do for your cat. So in real life, cats, they don't have birds bonking them on the head, right? So even if they just watch the flutter, the feathers on the string, that can be enriching enough for them. So this is Samba, one of our coworkers' kitties, and she's also 11, and she's super active still and loves her toys. So you notice how Shara's got like the toy away from her face, and she's reaching out towards it. So that's what you kind of want to think about. It's like, can they stretch out and get the toy? Make it go around corners, make them watch it all around, like fly it around and then land somewhere so they can go and pounce on it. And you can just even consider it an accomplishment if your kitty, especially our very older kitties, just kind of wiggle their butt or chatter at it, because that's enriching too. So even if they're not like pouncing and running after it like they used to zoom around when they were babies, if they're watching it and kind of engaged with it, that is enrichment too. And let's face it, guys, those old mouse toys under your couch, they're not going to cut it anymore. Those are just dead prey to your cat. So new toys are always exciting. But before you say, my cat doesn't like toys anymore, make sure you keep them exciting. And even if it's just like a plastic bottle cap or that new cardboard box to explore or something, consider that, keeping things fresh. And speaking of keeping things fresh, you can put those dead prey under your couch toys in some sort of plastic container with some catnip or valerian roots, and keep them in there for a while and then take them out in a couple months when they seem fresh and new again. So yeah, rotating your toys and trying different kinds of toys. If you think your kitty doesn't like toys anymore, try different sizes, different texture toys and see if they can go for that. When they're kittens, they usually like really crinkly little toys they can bat around, but as they get older, they might be more into things they can rub on their face, things like that. So as for our senior kitties, when we do play with them, make sure that their sessions are a little bit shorter, probably. So maybe more often, but shorter as they get older. And watch for signs of disengagement or looking away or walking away. That's when you know to take a break. And as you take your break, you can give them a tasty snack after they play to reinforce their engagement. So after playing and engaging with their environment, your kitty, might be interested in a snack or some food, right? And there's even new evidence that shows that multiple small meals a day might be healthier and preferable for our cats. And try to give your cats a choice of what they're eating, what they're snacking on, and present it in different ways. So you may want to still give your pet food in a bowl, but maybe next time, put some food in a puzzle toy and put it right next to the regular bowl of food and give them the choice. And I think you might be surprised that some cats prefer to play or work for their food. And some cats might appreciate a bowl on an elevated surface so they don't have to crouch down, especially if they're starting to feel the effects of arthritis. And then providing a choice too of different water bowls or maybe even fountains. What do you guys use? Let us know in the Q&A after. That might be a good idea too. Put more water, drinking water is super important for our seniors. So give them some choices of where they drink from. It's really funny, I have this older cat and I have a bowl that's just right in front of my bedroom. And for some reason, she prefers to drink from that bowl out of almost all the other bowls in the house. So before I put that there, she didn't really drink that much water, but having it in that position, it really helped. And another thing to consider is since seniors begin to change the way they digest certain proteins and fats, it's always a good idea to check in with your veterinarian before changing their diet. But, for most cats, I think adding a small amount of treats can be okay, depending on their special needs. But that can also entice them to begin using puzzle toys. So before you say I got one of those and my cat just stared at it and he didn't know how to use it, so I just gave it away. Try, putting something really special in there. Have you guys heard of churu cat treats? Those are really tasty. That might entice your cat to begin playing with those things, or maybe some chicken baby food. always check with your vet to make sure it's okay to give them those things, and make sure it's less than 10% of their diet.
So,
All
hey,
right.
Rochelle, if you wouldn't mind, I want to jump in. We had a question from the audience specifically about eating.
Okay.
So it says, my cat is getting weaker. We feed her on the counters and are trying to come up with ways to feed her lower, like on the ground, but the dog gets into it. So do you have any ideas?
Yeah, I have a dog at home too. So I actually feed my cats in separate rooms because cats, they don't like to eat communally usually. So I will shut the door to a room and let my cat eat for several minutes. And then she usually meows or lets me know she's done having her meal, and then I let her out. So that might be a possibility if you can, shut a door to a room and to keep the dog out. And they also make they're kind of expensive, but they make these special RFID collars. So if your cat has a microchip, they are the only ones that can open this special bowl. So they lean in to eat, and the bowl opens up so that only that pet can eat it. And those can work in like multi-pet households where one is on a special diet or one's not, eats the other one's food or something like that. So those are two things that you can try.
All right, thank you.
And then I think we have a poll, no?
Yes, because we've talked about playing, we've talked about feeding, and now we should talk about sleeping. So on average, how many hours do senior cats sleep? So I know this is, one of those varying things. I wish my cats only slept at night. Sometimes I think it's like that's his Zoom time, is when everyone else is trying to sleep.
Yeah, I mean, naturally, cats are crepuscular, right? So they're more active in the evening, that's for sure.
So, all right, we're going to go ahead and close the poll. Overwhelming response says 18 to 20 hours.
Ding, ding, ding. Yep, you guys are geniuses.
And we do have a pretty smart community that, chimes in, that tunes in when we give these webinars, and,
I'm sure a lot of them could probably give these webinars. Maybe we should put them up next time. All right, well, we'll talk about sleep in a sec, but before we get there, I want to talk about grooming. Because, as cats age, their nails become like pretty thick and brittle. Have you guys noticed that? So, and they also might struggle. I don't know if your cat does this, but my cat will be just like walking along like normal, and she'll just like get caught on random stuff. You're like, what are you doing? But they actually can struggle to retract their claws well as they age. So it's not as easy for them to like lift their claws out. So that's why it's helpful to keep your cat's nails trimmed. So if they're older and they haven't been used to getting their nails trimmed, it might be kind of hard, but it's never too late to start. And we just put out a how to trim your cat's nails video on our website, and it's on our YouTube channel. So you guys should check that out. It just came out yesterday. It's really cool. So yeah, so we want to prevent them from getting their nails caught on things. And I'm sure you'll also notice that your senior cat's fur has maybe changed over time, because they might not be good at grooming themselves anymore. It's hard to stretch and pull your leg out, like they used to. Like senior cats might not be able to do that anymore. Those special yoga moves that they were so good at when they were young, right? So it might help if you either add a little more grooming routine to your cat's repertoire. Like if you have a brush, if they like being brushed, or if they're not into being brushed, you can also provide some self-grooming items and things for them to like rub and scratch on. So providing like those kind of things that go against the wall that they can rub on, or things like this where they can go under it and kind of rub themselves, they can help them. keep a little better care of their fur. So speaking of stretching and scratching, let's talk about cat trees and scratching pads. You can never have too many of these kind of items in your house that they're allowed to scratch on. The more items like this you have, the less likely that your couch will suffer. So your kitty's preference, you might notice, it might begin to change over time. So where they once loved all those tall poles covered with sisal and carpet, they now might start to prefer softer corrugated cardboard or just a horizontal lounger like that one in the picture. That's easier for them to scratch on. And their nails aren't going to get as caught in it as much as the other stuff. And the scratching pad, it not only provides an area for them to rub their nails on, but they also are leaving their scent every time they swipe their paw pads on it. So they have little glands on their paw pads, and when they claw things, it leaves their scent so that they feel territorially secure. So place your cat trees in socially significant areas of your home, and don't banish these kind of items to like the back guest room where nobody hangs out, or like, I don't know, like a closet somewhere that because you don't like the look of it. And if you think that your cat doesn't like a certain kind of post, or you have a post and they're like, they don't really like it, try moving it to a different area of your home, because location is everything. I have a funny story. I had one of these scratching posts in my house, and I'm like, no one uses this. I'm gonna, give it away. So I kind of put it in the hallway. It was like a big stairs. They were really tall. It was a weird looking thing, and I didn't particularly like the way it looked. And so I'm like, I'm gonna give it away. I put it in the hallway, and oh my gosh, my cats went crazy. They like jumped, they leapt off of it, and they used it and scratched on it and rubbed on it. And I'm like, oh wow, I guess they do like it. They just didn't like where it was. So, if you do try moving something and they're still ignoring it, consider another kind of scratching area that your cat is attracted to. Because I know that with me, like, I love cat furniture. That's cute. But my cat like is not into it, right? So like this cactus one, like, oh my gosh, isn't that adorable? But if my cat jumped on that, it would probably fall over in a hot second. So they're not going to use it again. So is it appealing to your kitty? Cats really like large, sturdy, heavy items that don't wobble when they jump on them. So like, choose something that's sturdy and good. I know they're a little bit more expensive, but it's worth it. That's why they like your couch, because it's sturdy and you sit on it and it has your scent on it. Okay, so I know we're here to talk about getting your cat more active, but if your cat isn't well rested, they're definitely not going to want to play. So just because they're like trying to sleep or they're laying down doesn't mean they're like getting good solid sleep. So your senior cat, like we talked about, that 18 to 20 hours, it might start to fluctuate, or they might start to have longer periods of time where they're resting as when they were younger. So provide them a lot of dens and roosting spots. Some cats will prefer to sleep up high, and then others will like a warm, heated up bed in like a den. That's where my kitty likes to go. Someplace where they feel secure. And they may prefer to be sleeping in the room where you're occupying, or you may notice that they're retreating to like the closet more often, or someplace where like, where is the cat? And you're like, I don't know where the cat is. And they're like snuck into your closet cabinet and sleeping in all the warm towels that you just put away. So consider providing them something that's more out of the way of household traffic, especially if you have a lot of pets in your house or a lot of people. And then self-heating beds, like we talked about, can really help support them and keep them comfortable too. So just make sure that they still feel flexible and enough to jump onto higher areas to reach those beds too. So seniors, and especially our super seniors, may begin to avoid entering the litter box. Is anyone dealing with this right now? I am at my house. They may start to feel, some pain when they're either entering or exiting the litter box or just being in the litter box, especially if it's too small. So make sure that their box is easily accessible for them. And that means not only keeping it close to where they like to sleep, but making sure, that it is low enough for them to step into. And then when they're in the litter box, that you want to make sure that they're feeling comfortable in there and that the litter is soft and sand-like and it's not harsh on their paws. Because if it's like pokey or a weird texture that cats aren't used to, they might not like being in there. So if you notice that your cat is kind of going into the litter box, doing their business and exiting right away, and they're just like in and out, that might be a sign that your box isn't attractive to them. So just like us, like we don't want to go in an airplane bathroom, but like we will if we have to, but we don't prefer it, right? If we had a bigger bathroom to choose from, we would choose that one. So it's just the same with our cats. So just because your cat is using the litter box now, really think about like, are they spending time in there? Are they digging and covering up? If they're not doing those things, then you might consider, putting your box somewhere that they prefer or changing the litter or the size of the box. Because navigating a small box like that when they're like all hunched up, it's difficult for them to turn around comfortably. It could be really off-putting. So, and most litter pans, honestly, are too small for the average cat. I mean, the stuff that you buy at the store, it's marketed to you to you to buy. Like you think, oh, I could put that size thing in my house. If you really saw the size of litter pans that you do need, people will be like, I have no place to put that. But it's better for our cats. We want to make them happy. So use a flat, you can buy a pretty cheap storage container like that one in the picture and just cut like a little opening out of it, and that works pretty well and it's cheap. So I really recommend doing that. And scoop your box frequently, you guys, so that your cat doesn't have to step around solid matter to navigate. So they did some studies a few years ago, and they found that kitties who had several boxes to choose from, they would always go to the one that was just clear of any solid matter. So even if it smelled like other cats or whatever, or was like bigger, smaller, they would always go to the one that didn't have any solid things to walk around. So consider changing your lifestyle a little bit and maybe cleaning that box a couple times a day, maybe 3 times a day if you have more pets. And you might want to consider too, like adding another box for our seniors and super seniors, because I mean, I don't know about you, but as we get older, you start looking around for places that you can use the restroom, right? Like you don't want to be without the restroom nearby. So if they feel like they have a little emergency, they don't want to walk all the way down the hall into the end and find their litter box. All right, so you've tried everything and your cat is still a lump on a log and not interested in playing. So what do you think? Is it time to get a kitten to liven things up? What do you think, Michelle?
So I used to think the answer was no. And I guess I'm still kind of on the fence about it, just because the levels of activity are very different between kittens and older cats. But when my foster cat, who is now my forever cat, started growing up, like he took a lot of time with the dog, and I think it has livened up our dog just a little bit more, and she just recently turned 12.
Oh wow.
So
Yeah. I mean, and that's the thing. The answer is like maybe. Probably, I would say probably not, but maybe. So, if you could give your cat a vote in the matter, if I can give my cat a vote in the matter, she would say, no way, Jose. But, most of them would probably not elect to bring a baby into the house. But, because not only do they have different energy levels, but, their play styles they are not the same, right? So bringing a younger cat can really throw a wrench into not only their daily routine, but like yours too, right? Um, so if your cat has never been around other cats, or maybe they were around other cats only when they were a kitten or something like that, I would tend to recommend against it. But hey, like you never know. And if you feel like your cat is missing having a mate, cats, a lot of people think cats are super independent. And in a way, that's kind of true for some cats, but cats are social. So it might help, but you want to always consider like, what if it doesn't work out? Is the risk of bringing in a younger kitten so great that like if it doesn't work out, it's going to really be bad for your senior cat, and for you, so yeah, so I would say there's maybe, if the answer is maybe, um, for the most part, probably not. But there are some special circumstances. I've seen some senior cats, like even male senior cats, like take care of foster kittens. It's super cute. So you never know. Um, but if your cat hasn't been around other cats or hasn't spent so much time with other cats, they probably will continue to prefer to be the only child, only for a cat in your house, right? Um, and but if you think that your cat would appreciate a friend, find a cat that's similar in age, I would say. Go that route first. And similar in temperament. I know it's always hard to know that ahead of time. But usually if they're matched in temperament, that helps a little bit. And ask yourself too, can you manage the environment so that you can introduce the kitten and the adult cat slowly over the course of a couple weeks? Um, and again, just assessing that risk. What if they don't end up getting along? What are you going to do? Do you have a backup plan? And then also, I think I would ask yourself, because I've had to ask myself this question before too, is it really your cat's actions that are telling you that they are the lonely ones, or is it our own emotions? Do we want another cat? Is it really for us, or is it for your cat? And that's one of the things that I ask, here at the shelter when people are interested in, they say, I have a cat at home. Are they going to get along? Does this cat get along with other cats? And I always say, like, are you getting this cat for you or for your cat? Like, get the cat for you if that's what you want, and know that they might not be best friends, right? Because you never know. So yeah, sometimes we make up stories about why our cats are acting a certain way. We often label our cats as grumpy or cantankerous or jerks. I've heard that a lot. Um, but I want you guys to instead think of your cat's behavior as information, and don't take that behavior that they're doing personally. They didn't barf in your slipper to spite you. They didn't knock your coffee mug off the table because you forgot to give them their special snack yesterday. That's just not how cats think or work. They really live in the moment. So your cat's not trying to get back at you. It's more along the lines of their needs are not getting met during that moment. Or they may even feel frustrated or confused, right? So when the meowing begins to increase and we're not sure what they want, and we might start to feel like they're trying to keep us awake on purpose. Like, why is my cat doing this to me? But instead, try to think about why they might be vocalizing. It's not always because they're hungry, right? So take note of the environment. Is it dark? Can they see? Do they have access to someplace warm right now? Are they meowing when they move, or when they jump? Can it be pain? Let's try to figure out why your cat is crying or why your cat's trying to knock things off the table. It may be time for a vet visit, like let's check that out. And anytime your cat is doing something that seems out of the ordinary for them, step into their paws for a moment and just look at it from their perspective. And instead of just thinking of ways to eliminate a behavior that's making us feel bad or mad, think about showing a little empathy for our cats, especially our seniors. You know, are we really meeting their needs? Did they get enough playtime? Are they bored? You know, for the most of the time when they're knocking the coffee mug off the table, they're just trying to interact with their environment. They're just trying to have some say in what goes on during their life, right? They're like, oh, if I touch this, it falls over. And that's kind of when my cat does that, I try not to look at it as like, this is annoying. I think, oh shoot, I didn't take him out yesterday. It was raining. You know, this is not the cat's fault, right? So showing empathy for our cats, it's really important. And thinking of it that way, it can really foster a meaningful and strong bond with our cats during their golden years. And that's what they deserve, right? Because senior cats are awesome. Let's give them all the love they deserve, right? Well, okay, Michelle, I think that's it for my presentation. Do we have any questions?
Oh, of course we do.
Comments, questions? I'll take it all.
All right. So let's see. You want to pop back on so we can see you? So our first question is, what are some cat-safe plants?
Ooh, so I just got a chamomile plant. Those are safe. Catnip, wheatgrass, valerian root, but that's more dried, and silver vine. Those are the ones I know of. There are probably a few more. If you go onto the ASPCA website, they have a whole list of poisonous and safe plants for cats.
Okay. So I don't know if you will know this one or not, but is constipation a common problem with senior kitties?
Ooh, so that's a good one for a vet to answer. It is common because, like I said, they don't digest the same as they used to. So if they're eating too much or the wrong kind of protein, it can definitely make them constipated. So I would say if their pet stool seems abnormal to them, like either they're not going as much or it seems like really small little nuggets and they're hard, it's time to see the vet.
Okay. A two-part question. So is dandruff normal with senior cats? And if so, is there a good way to help lower the amount of dandruff with the exception of omega-3 oils?
Okay, so grooming can definitely help with that. If their fur seems kind of oily, they may not be grooming themselves as much. So we might need to step in, get some pet wipes, some brushes, do some daily brushing, and some pet wiping would be good. But I think that dandruff also could be an underlying issue of something else that's bigger. So again, I would say definitely see your vet or talk to your vet about that and see if it's something that might be a dietary change or something else that's going on.
Okay. Why do cats bite during play?
Ooh, because our hands, when we play, we're like, oh, what they do? And that's, what is this? This is like a fun mouse or a fun bug, right? And if they've learned in the past that you will squeak and go, ow, 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 when you play, they're like, hey, that's fun. I'm gonna bite, right? So there are some ways that we can get them to redirect onto appropriate toys. So if they do bite you, I would say, this kitty here. So if your cat is biting you on the hand, the thing to do is not to move away real fast. Actually, is to stay still and like gently press towards your cat's mouth. And when they release, calmly put your hand down, get another toy that's appropriate out, and then you can play with the toy like that. Yeah. So yeah, that's a good one. I'm glad someone brought that up.
Is senior food okay for young cats to eat? Because we've got someone out in the community has a couple of younger cats and has an older cat, and they all kind of eat together.
Yeah, I mean, I think those foods are really developed specifically to fit the needs of senior cats, and your younger cat will have different needs. So again, I think, talking to someone who is an expert in nutrition can help better answer that question. It really would depend on the food. Yeah.
Okay. Are chicken breast healthy for cats to eat?
Very small amount. So like the white meat of chicken, I would say is probably okay. Check with your vet. A very small amount. So anything that's like really fatty, you want to avoid. So no like dark meat or the fat or skin, that could be dangerous. But a little bit of chicken is probably okay for most cats. It depends on your kitty. So definitely check with your vet and ask them like, how much can I give my kitty? I would say like a couple of little strands cut up into tiny bits. That should be okay. I feed my cats chicken.
Okay. And I know earlier you had mentioned churros and how those were, super amazing snacks for cats.
They are. I wish I had some right here to show you.
So for everybody out there, yeah. Oh my gosh, my cat loves these things. It's like, it's like cat crack, really. My daughter, we call them mogurts in our house. Because it's made of meat, but it reminds her of Go-Gurt, and we actually use these after we trim his nails.
Yes. Oh my gosh, you guys are so clever. I love that. I love to hear that.
Give them this little treat. And so for anybody out there, like, yes, cats absolutely love these things, and you can find them in our shelter shop in a variety of flavors, individual packages and in containers, and you just rip off the top and squeeze it out and they will lick it up.
They love it. Love it.
Yeah, let's see. So aside from that, the last couple of questions from the community. If a cat always chases another cat, does that mean that they don't get along?
Ooh, well, not necessarily. So if they're chasing each other back and forth and they seem wiggly and bouncy and they're like, oh, pouncing, that could be play. If one cat is always the instigator and the other cat is running away and they're like low, their head is low, their tail is low, and they're just like low to the ground, running away, that's not good. So one cat's probably bullying the other cat. It probably means that the cat that's running away feels insecure, so more places for them to climb to get away from that other cat, and places for them to scratch on so they feel secure. And for the other cat, he needs some playtime. He wants to chase something. So instead of constantly berating that cat for chasing his friend, how about he gets to chase, a wand toy around the house for 15 or 20 minutes. See if that helps.
Yeah. All right. Is 12 years old too old for leash training?
No. In fact, one of my cats the one that lived to almost 22, I took him out pretty late in life, and I actually got him like a wagon. I'm kind of embarrassed to say this, but I got him a wagon, right, and put the harness on so it was secure, and kind of wheeled him around because he loves it. He loved watching the birds and smelling the fresh air and being outside. Like he was into it. Not all kitties will appreciate that, I have to say, but if you feel like your cat would like it, yeah, you can definitely try out. And we'll be coming out with a how to leash train your cat video. Look for it next month in April. We're working on that right now.
So, that's super exciting. I've actually, we started leash training our cat when he was very young, because we've had him since really the day he was born. So, yeah. So it started out as our foster, and like I mentioned, he just, he captured everyone's hearts.
Yeah, let's normalize seeing a cat on a leash. It's not weird, okay, you guys?
Yeah. I know people do stare at us when, we take him out, like, oh my gosh, that's so weird.
I walk my cat too, and everyone's like, I see the people is like eyeballing us.
Yeah. All right. So we have time for one more question.
Okay.
Okay. So besides the senior wellness exam with your vet, are there any specific tests or labs that we should ask for?
Ooh, I would say, that's up to your vet really. So your job really is to say what's going on with your kitty, what things you're observing. Um, write down as many things as you can. Like how many times do they use the restroom? Is their poo hard and little, or is it kind of soft and gooey? Like they want to know. All of your vets want to know all about their poo, how many times they pee a day, their activity levels, their fur, do they have dandruff, all those things. And then they will say, based off those observations, I think it's time we do a different panel. But your senior panel is going to be the main one that they'll ask for.
All right. Well, thank you, Rochelle, for all of the information and for joining us today.
Thank you, guys.
That was fun. I do hope that you'll jump on with us and on the 31st when we talk to California Catios.
I'm already registered for that webinar. I'm super excited. You guys should all join it. It's going to be rad.
So, and I'm hoping that everyone in our audience joins us too for Catios, for our drag queen bingo. And if you've really enjoyed this webinar today, I've dropped a link to our donation page in the chat box, and I hope to see everybody back again. Bye, Rochelle.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.